Hey SKM family, thank you so much for joining me here on another video on our channel. If you are new to the channel, my name is Amanda and I do videos on family, faith, fun, and more. So we do review videos. It's a faith-based channel, so mostly we do faith-based videos. That's the point of the channel, reaching the world for Jesus Christ. One video at a time has really been my slogan. So I want to welcome you to the channel if you're new. I want to invite you to join our SKM, Staying Kingdom Minded family. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button, guys, and help to support our online ministry. And welcome to our family. Welcome back, all you SKM family members, if you are joining me for this video. So I had previously did a video, which I will link in a card above, on TTCing after a miscarriage. So I shared with you guys my testimony, which I probably will break that down and share some more in-depth things with you guys, just to help you to understand a little bit more about my story and about how God blessed us and brought us through that journey and that difficult time. So I'll probably share some more, but I did tell you guys in that video that I wanted to do a video on what is a blighted ovum and TTCing after a blighted ovum or a miscarriage. So I'm going to glance down here at the iPad because that is where my notes are. So some of the information I'm going to be sharing with you guys is things that maybe I was told by my physician, my life experience, my thoughts obviously on the subject. Some other information is going to be from AmericanPregnancy.org. That's a website that you can visit as well. So let's get right into this video. Okay, so what is a blighted ovum? So I found out that I was pregnant with would have been my fourth child, and went to have the blood work done just like normal. So you go in and have that baseline set of blood work drawn. We got those numbers, and then my doctor's office required that you came back in 48 hours later to have another set of blood work done. So those HCG levels that they draw to make sure that the numbers are doubling every other day is what the doctor said that they should do to be considered a normal, healthy pregnancy. That's what they want to see. So I went in for the next set of blood work, and those numbers did rise. However, they did not exactly double, which had me a little bit concerned, but I prayerfully continued and just believed that everything was going to be fine. And really the main pregnancy symptom that I had in those first couple of weeks of pregnancy was heartburn and indigestion, which was a little bit odd to me because that typically is something that I would normally experience and a lot of women normally experience as a result of being big and pregnant. So the baby and the excess weight pushing up on the stomach and causing, you know, acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion, those kind of symptoms. You see women with big pregnant bellies and eating Tums and complaining of heartburn and those kind of things. So for that to be an early pregnancy symptom for myself personally, that was a little bit odd to me. I didn't dwell too much on it because I thought every pregnancy is different, and I'm claiming a girl this time, and so maybe that's why it's different, because I had only been pregnant with boys that, you know, up until that time. So what happened? I went in, I had my cousin go with me. I went in for my first ultrasound, and the doctor came in and said that he saw the gestational sac, but did not see a heartbeat. He saw the fetal pole in the gestational sac, but no baby, no heartbeat. So matter of fact, he just instantly threw out the term blighted ovum. He said, you know, very nonchalant, no feelings or emotions attached whatsoever. He just walked right in the room, opened up the door, and just matter of fact said, okay, so what we call this is a blighted ovum, and what we typically do is we have you come back in a week or so. We do another ultrasound, make sure that there is no baby, and then you have a choice to make. You can either come in for a D&C, or you can naturally pass, you know, the products of this pregnancy on your own. It's totally up to you. And there was, like I said, no emotion whatsoever attached to the news that he was giving me, and it was just very abrupt. And any questions? And of course I was in a whirlwind. I didn't know what to do or say. He said, you know, that I had a decision to make. Well, in my mind, I had made the decision. I wasn't having anything called a blighted ovum. I had never even heard of it before. I didn't understand it. I was completely caught off guard. I did not like what he said, and I had faith that was bigger than a blighted ovum. I had faith in my God that this test was going to be a testimony, that this was not true. You know, he did say it is a rare possibility that I miscalculated the date that my cycle was to start again, and maybe I just wasn't early enough along to see a heartbeat or a baby at that time, but he was, you know, had already given me a diagnosis basically of a blighted ovum. So I left the office that day. My cousin and I didn't really say much to each other right away, and I have to be honest, I got in the car, and when she drove away, I just began to bawl my eyes out, and I prayed to God that the doctor was wrong. And, you know, who'd even heard of a blighted ovum? What does that even mean? Like, that makes no sense, and this can possibly not be happening to me. So what is a blighted ovum? It's also known as an embryonic pregnancy. It happens when a fertilized egg attaches itself to the uterine wall, but no embryo develops. Cells develop to form the pregnancy sac, but the cells that are supposed to form the fetus, the baby, the embryo, don't form those things. A blighted ovum occurs within the first trimester, and it often occurs, according to research, due to chromosomal abnormalities so significant that the body recognizes that the baby would not live, and so therefore it basically takes care of, quote unquote, the situation early on. Most women, according to AmericanPregnancy.org, don't even know that they were pregnant to begin with because it happened so early on in the pregnancy. So you're just a couple of weeks in, and you start maybe spotting, and you never even know that it occurred. Well, women like myself who are very on top of their cycles, and they know when they're supposed to start, and especially women like me who are trying to conceive at that time, women like me who every single month is doing ovulation predictor tests and who are counting down the days to the next cycle, we definitely know. I know you ladies know what I mean. If you are a lady who is trying to conceive and you're watching this video, I know that you know what I mean, and you would know if this was happening to you, of course, because you're very in tune with your body and you're patiently awaiting that blessing from God of a baby, either a rainbow baby, a miracle baby. You know, doctors have said that you weren't going to be able to conceive. You have PCOS, you know, you have fibroids, you have all these different things maybe happening. You would know exactly what I mean. So I obviously did. I did know. It says a high level of chromosome abnormalities usually causes a woman's body to naturally miscarriage. It says that give yourself time and permission to grieve. So once you've actually been diagnosed with a blighted ovum, you go back, you have a second ultrasound like I did. There still is no baby. The way my doctor described to me what a blighted ovum is he said that, for simplicity's sake, we'll just say half of the DNA that is supposed to start replicating and making the gestational sac for the baby, it does its job, and then the other half that are supposed to divide and replicate and form baby don't do their job. So pregnancy.org says that the cells develop to form the pregnancy sac, but not the embryo itself. But it also says it happens when a fertilized egg attaches itself to the uterine wall. So there was some mixed emotion and mixed feeling during this time, especially because how the doctor worded it to my husband was that the baby didn't form. So to him, being a man, not all men, I guess maybe, but most men, do not operate off of emotion. So when he heard the baby did not form or develop at all, then to him, this isn't probably really a miscarriage. This is just, you know, some fluke thing, or, you know, whatever happened. But to a mama's heart, and to the fact that it says a fertilized egg, once the sperm meets the egg and it fertilizes, that is a baby to me. To this woman of God, to this mom, that is a baby. So whether it continued to grow and there was a heartbeat, you know, whatever that case may be, that was a baby, and that was my baby. And so it was a miscarriage to me, and it was a very, very difficult experience to go through. Any one of you ladies watching this video, if you have experienced a miscarriage in any shape or sense of the word, if you have taken a pregnancy test and you saw 2 lines, or it said pregnant, and then for whatever reason, it did not develop, maybe the very next day, maybe a couple of hours later after having a positive pregnancy test, you start bleeding. In your mind, even if but for a moment, you were pregnant. You had a life inside of you. You were pregnant with promise. You were pregnant with hope. You were excited. Your dreams were finally coming true. So you know what I mean. So it was a miscarriage to me. And pregnancy, AmericanPregnancy.org does say that it is a type of miscarriage. So one of the most important things that I'm going to say for TTCing after a blighted ovum is this. You have to give yourself enough time to grieve properly. I did have quite a bit of time, and however, I still don't really feel like I have completely healed from that experience. I will always have that, loss inside of me of knowing that last December I was supposed to be giving birth to our last child. And it was very, very hurtful, and it was traumatic. And having one son with a chromosome abnormality, trisomy 21, Abel, who has Down syndrome, I almost felt like if that embryo didn't continue to develop, and if it was a chromosome abnormality, I almost blamed myself at times. I almost thought that shame on me for wanting to bring another baby into the world, because trisomy 21 wasn't a big deal. Abel's developing fine. He is a gift from God. He is perfectly healthy, in my opinion, but this other baby who was on its way into the world and it was cut short, in my mind, I couldn't help, but the enemy, I feel like, was causing me to feel like in some way that was my fault. So that's still something that I struggle with. But TTCing after a miscarriage or blighted ovum, you need to be able to have the time to grieve, not just physical time passing, but emotionally. You need to have someone that you can open up to talk to about your feelings, that you can figure out a way to deal with loss, however that is for you, whether that's, plenty of time devoted in prayer and reading scriptures and getting strength from God through other individuals, maybe in your family, through best friends. Whatever that looks like for you, make sure that you take the time to properly grieve so that you can be healthy emotionally and spiritually and physically for the next time that you do start actively trying to conceive again, that you are ready mentally, physically, and spiritually to take on that journey. Because anyone who knows about trying to conceive, whether you only tried for a month, whether you are years into actively trying to conceive, and month after month you're not, month after month your cycle starts, month after month you are in just distress and your heart is hurting and it's breaking because all you want is to be able to have your baby, it's hard to hang in there and hard to have faith and hope in the fact that it is going to happen for you if you are not mentally, spiritually, and physically ready to start that journey. So that is trying to conceive tip number 1 that I am going to give you, is make sure that you have given yourself enough time to recover in all 3 of those areas. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what causes a blighted ovum. I've shared with you about the chromosome abnormalities possibly being the reason. AmericanPregnancy.org says that in 50% of first trimester miscarriages, the cause is this blighted ovum, and that it is a result of a chromosome abnormality. It says that a woman's body recognizes those abnormal chromosomes in the fetus and naturally does not try to continue the pregnancy because your body knows that it's not going to develop into a healthy baby. This can be caused by abnormal cell division, or it can be caused by poor quality in the sperm or the egg. So they don't really know, but those are the thoughts thus far in the research that they have done. So should you have a D&C, or should you allow your body to naturally pass all of the contents in your uterus on its own? So the doctor allows you to make that choice up until a certain point. If your body naturally passes the pregnancy products on its own, if your uterus expels them, if you're able to do that on your own, and that is what you want to do, it's more natural, it's less invasive, then your doctor will allow you to do that. My doctor said if that started happening for me, and that's what I chose within the first week or two, that he would be okay with that. But once you hit a certain point, if your body's not doing it on its own, then a D&C might be what is necessary. So for me personally, I know at least one other individual who has experienced a blighted ovum, and for her, she chose to wait and let her body naturally take care of it on its own. And actually, I'm gonna shout out her YouTube channel now. Her name is Avi, or Octavia. Her YouTube channel is Avi and Lido. That's her and her husband. They are an amazing couple, on fire for the Lord. They share their faith, they share their workout journeys, they share their health and fitness. They have a website. I'm going to link their YouTube channel in the description box below. So if you like faith-based videos, if you're into healthy living and workouts and things like that, please go over and check out Avi and Lido. You will love their channel. But so she did allow herself to naturally you know, her body to take care of that on its own. I, on the other hand, prayed and prayed about the situation, and I was in such a place emotionally that once I went back in for that second ultrasound, and I was clinging so much to my hope and my faith in God that it was not really going to be a blighted ovum, and I scoured the internet for hours trying to get information about this thing called blighted ovum, I emotionally couldn't take it, you guys. I couldn't do it. If there was really not going to be a baby, I needed to just end that stage in my life and recover physically and emotionally and spiritually, attempt to put it behind me in the only way that I knew how, which is my faith in God, and move forward. So I didn't really have, you know, I guess I want to say the emotional stability at the time to allow my body to naturally take care of it on its own. So I did elect to have a D&C. My husband and I went in to the operating room. Obviously, he didn't go back, but we went in together. They placed an IV in my hand. They gave me some medications to help calm me down as I was anxious and very emotional and sad at the ending of what I thought was going to be our last child together. It ended way too soon, but you know, God knows what we can handle. He knows what we need. Jeremiah 29:11. He knows the plans that he has for us, says the Lord. They are plans for a hope and a future. His plans for us are for good. So I have to believe that he knew what was going to happen with that baby. And of course, I did not know. And if that's the way that it was supposed to happen, which obviously it was, then I trust his plan and his will for my life. Even when it doesn't feel good, we still have to press through. We still have to trust his plans for us are for good. It may not look good in that moment, but his plans for us are for good. So I went back, I had the D&C done. I recovered from that. And, you know, we went on minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, month by month, and year by year, we went on pressing forward. I had a much harder time dealing with the situation, like I've mentioned, than my husband did. So like I said, I really don't 100% feel like I've completely healed from that, but I'm asking the Lord to mend my heart and restore my heart, and to help me to remember that his plans for me are for good. So how can a blighted ovum be prevented? That's the next thing. It really can't be prevented. Some couples will seek out genetic testing to see if there is multiple early pregnancy losses, and try to find out if they can find an actual cause of their miscarriages. Maybe it's a progesterone issue. Maybe they need to be on progesterone very early on in their pregnancy. Whether or not they have some type of incompatibility, you know, whatever the case may be. But an actual blighted ovum that happens, there's typically no way for you to be able to prevent it. So we have talked about what is a blighted ovum, we have talked about how can it be prevented, and we have talked about the treatment for a blighted ovum. So what I want to share with you guys is this. When trying to conceive after having a miscarriage, whether it's a couple of hours after you've peed on that stick, whether it was several weeks into that pregnancy, months into that pregnancy, or a stillborn, wherever you are in your journey, tip number 2 for trying to conceive after having a miscarriage: never allow the enemy to defeat you in your mind and make you feel like there is no hope. Never allow the enemy to make you feel like there is no hope. Jeremiah 29:11. Put your hope in Christ. Continue to seek him. Month after month, day after day, year after year, minute by minute, whatever you need to do, seeking him, reading the scriptures, growing your personal relationship with Christ, seeking his perfect will for your life. Tip number 2 is to give your situation to God. I don't mean to insult you wherever you are in your journey. You may be 8, 10, 12, 15 years into trying to conceive, and I can only imagine that you are completely thinking that it's over for you. Maybe you never will actually have a child of your own, but there are other avenues that the Lord can use to bring a baby who needs a good mama into their lives. So I would strongly advise you to continue to seek God in your journey wherever you are, however long it has taken you to try to conceive on your own. I would strongly encourage you to allow God to show you his will for your life. That is trying to conceive after a miscarriage, tip number 2. So trying to conceive after a miscarriage, tip number 3. You have to make sure that you are physically ready to have a child. So what do I mean by that? I mean, taking on carrying an infant, being pregnant, is physically and very, very, very much so physically and emotionally tiring and exhausting, and you need to make sure that your body is healthy. So if you're carrying extra weight, if you are overweight, if you lead a sedentary lifestyle, meaning you're not exercising much, you are not getting up and moving and burning calories, you are eating lots of foods that are very unhealthy for you, very super high in fat, greasy foods, tons of fast foods, those kinds of things, drinking lots of soda and sugary beverages and things like that, I would strongly suggest to you to start today eating healthy, drinking plenty of water, getting exercise. Your body knows when it is physically capable of taking on a pregnancy and bringing a life into this world. And I would just encourage you that if you are not just overweight, but just have a lot of unhealthy lifestyle changes, this is not a slam to anyone. It's just a trying to conceive tip that I know is very, very physically important. Try to make sure that you're starting to make healthy lifestyle changes. Maybe it's too much to do all at one time. Say you're addicted to pop, or say you're addicted to, fast food. Slowly start cutting those things out. Make one change. Make one positive, healthy lifestyle change at a time. So maybe you're going to tell yourself, okay, I know that pop is unhealthy for me. I know that soda is unhealthy for me, but I really have a thing for Coke. I really have a thing for Pepsi, whatever your thing is. Tell yourself you're only going to allow yourself to have 1 a day instead of 5. Or tell yourself you're going to allow yourself to have 1 a week instead of 10. Whatever that looks like for you. So start making healthy lifestyle changes so that your body can physically undergo holding and carrying a fetus, a baby, and it growing, and that you're going to be healthy, and you're going to be the healthiest mama anywhere around so that you can take care of that beautiful blessing that God is going to give you. Trying to conceive tip number 4 after miscarriage would be to take a prenatal vitamin every single day while you're trying to get pregnant. So why would you want to do this? Because many women's bodies are lacking in certain vitamins and nutrients, and your body knows when it is missing something that it needs. It's vitally important that you take a prenatal vitamin so that your body is not lacking anything, so that nothing's out of balance. There are just certain things that your body needs. So say folic acid and the B vitamins, those things are very important. And so make sure that you talk with your doctor and you start taking a prenatal vitamin. It's going to be very, very good and healthy for your body, and it's also already going to have you jump started on the baby's healthy body, healthy nutrition that it needs as well. And trying to conceive after miscarriage, tip number 5. I personally started taking a folic acid supplement. That's something obviously that is in a prenatal vitamin, but you want to make sure that you're getting the correct dose that your body needs and that the baby is going to need to prevent neural tube defects. So start taking folic acid. You can talk with your OBGYN and find out what the dose is that they recommend, and start taking that in preparation for being pregnant. So you're already laying the groundwork for a healthy body so that you can have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. So that is tip number 5. And a couple of bonus tips that I'll throw in, tip 6 and 7. I'm going to give you guys ovulation predictor test kits. You can buy them on Amazon, and I will throw a link in the description box below if you guys want to use an affiliate link of mine to help support our online ministry. I'll throw that in there for you guys. You can get them in bulk and you can get them fairly cheap, and you can use those. You just take those strips, dip them in your urine, and you can track your ovulation so that you can see when is the peak and optimal time to baby dance, hopefully to conceive your baby. So those I have used in the past, and obviously they are honestly, they are really helpful in tracking. So I'll leave that link in the description box below. That's tip number 6. So you need to know, especially if your cycle is not normal. Say you never know when you're going to start. Your cycles, some months can be 28 days, some months can be 48 days, whatever your cycle length looks like for you. The ovulation tests are very important in helping you determine the optimal time to conceive. So I would suggest using those if you're not already using those. And bonus tip number 7 is there are other over-the-counter supplements that you can take as well, like evening primrose oil. That helps with your cervical mucus. I won't go into that too much in detail, but that is definitely something that I did try, and definitely something that you can try as well, that you might have some luck with in helping you to conceive, as well as cinnamon, oddly enough. I'll let you Google that or YouTube that, but cinnamon is another over-the-counter supplement that can help while trying to conceive. So those are a couple of bonus tips for you guys as well. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for watching this testimonial and this educational video on a blighted ovum, on my story trying to conceive after a miscarriage. And I hope you enjoyed the tips as well. I hope they help you. I genuinely hope that wherever you are in your TTC journey, that these tips and this story have put a sense of encouragement in your heart. I hope that wherever you are allowing God to minister to you in this time, and ask Him to give you the peace that passes all understanding, the peace that only God can give during this trying time. I pray this video finds you well. If you need prayer, if there's anything at all that I can do to help you in your TTC journey as far as prayers, encouraging verses, if there's any other video topics that you would like to see, just feel free to leave those in the comment section below. Or you can feel free to email me at stayingkingdomminded@gmail.com. So I thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe to our channel. Please give this video a like and comment in the comment section below if you need prayer for your trying to conceive journey. Thank you guys so much. Have a blessed day. And don't forget, wherever you are, not only in your trying to conceive journey, but wherever life finds you right now, and in all things, to stay kingdom-minded, guys.